Hi everyone, I hope that you're having a fantastic start to your Thursday. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to you. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Kelsey Smith. I'm the founder of Team Simply Beautiful. We're a 2017 elite team and they rock. So as you guys hop on, I know that it's going to take a little while for this to kick in and activate on everybody's stuff, but as you come on, say hi. Tell me where you're from. I love being able to put names of the people that I'm talking to. So say hi as you're hopping on. Hey Victoria, this is awesome. Really pumped to talk to you guys today about challenge groups and how it completely changed my business. So I'm really, really pumped. Hi Steph, hi Claire. Oh, thanks Claire. Really excited to talk to you guys today. Again, I'm gonna give you guys a little background on who I am. I've been in this business for about 3.5 years now. And that's crazy about how fast that flew. I'm actually a former television news reporter. So I was that girl on the side of the road with a microphone in my hand and reporting in all the hazardous conditions and all this negative stuff around the world. And honestly, news was never really something that I really wanted to get into. I'm a diehard sports fan, diehard Steelers fan, for any of you who are in here from Pittsburgh. But I got into news and honestly, I didn't like it. And I know a lot of you can probably relate to that. I was very depressed, and because of the negativity of me not liking my job and the pay that I was getting, I was actually averaging about $21,000 a year as a reporter, which is after taxes a little less than minimum wage. I found myself broke, depressed, miserable, and I was turning to alcohol and food for a lot of my coping mechanisms, which, isn't the best thing in the world. But I was drinking all the time. I drank myself to sleep. I ate really bad. I turned to cookies and cakes and things like that for comfort. And before I know it, I am literally the girl in the grocery store that sees somebody she knows and ignores them, goes down different aisles to not have to speak to them, waking up every single day crying because I didn't want to go to work, drinking myself to sleep, and 15 pounds heavier. And Beachbody came in my life at a time that it was needed the most. I came across a post on Facebook from my now coach, and she looked happy. And honestly, that's all I was looking for was happiness. And I found it. I could see that she was happy. I didn't know what she was a part of. I didn't know what she was doing, but I knew that I wanted to drink the Kool-Aid. I knew I wanted to be a part of it. And I knew that if I could just feel half as good as she was feeling at the time, then maybe, just maybe, it was going to be worth it. So I reached out to her and I got all the information from her, and then I was the girl that actually went behind her back and went on the Beachbody website and purchased the 21-day fix on its own, so that way I didn't have to spend $130 on a protein shake. So never count those people out. But I did it on my own, and I got it in the mail. I remember looking at the containers and being like, how am I supposed to eat? There's nothing in it. I remember all of that stuff like it was yesterday. But 21-day fix was the first time that I developed any sort of discipline in my life. And I felt amazing. And I just was on a whole other level of just commitment. And I know it wasn't immediately fixed. I still needed to get through my depression, and I suffer from pretty terrible anxiety. I still do to this day. And there's things that will trigger me, and it takes me off. But I still deal with that. And the 21-day fix and being able to commit to something and to be able to feel something like that was absolutely remarkable for me. It was the best feeling in the entire world to know that I committed to something and that I could get through this depression and that I could be happy too. So Beachbody just became a part of my life for the fitness side of things, a lot of you guys. And then about 2.5 weeks into the 21-day fix, I reached back out to my coach despite the fact that I didn't purchase from her, and I said, hey, I see that you're running these challenge groups, and I haven't been a part of a challenge group, and I see that these girls over here that are drinking Shakeology are getting better results than me. So what is this thing? And I saw her make a post about how she was giving away free Shakeology samples. Hi, I'm a mooch. I was the first one on the free Shakeology samples. And I asked her to send me one. She did, and that's where the story kind of begins with coaching. She reached out and said, hey, you're already doing this. You're already posting on social media. why don't you just join it, and and you can at least get your Shakeology paid for. And I'll be very honest and blunt with you guys, I joined coaching to get my Shakeology paid for. I did not have the money for it at the time. Again, I was making $21,000 a year as a reporter. I was miserable, I was broke, my money did not need to be going to that, even though, yes, it does, right? So I started coaching just to get the discount on Shakeology. And the moment I said yes, I realized that I was a part of something so incredibly big that I could not help myself but go all in. I went all in, and I went from, I was a runner from day one. But as many of you guys may know, and that's what my topic is today, I did a lot of things wrong along the way, but I always look at those things that I did wrong as something that is going to help me grow. And I have learned a lot, and I'm hoping that this topic today helps you guys who might be sitting in the same situation that I was sitting in literally at the beginning of this year. I had a great 2016, guys. My team, like I said, we hit elite together. We got into the top 150 of the company, and we were doing all these amazing things, but still something felt missing to me. I didn't have the emotional connection with my customers that I really wanted to have. Yes, I did have a lot of transformations coming in. I had my select group of girls that were always like, I've helped people lose up to 75 pounds at this point. It's been amazing, and I've seen all these incredible things happen, but I wanted that connection with all of them. I wanted them to have a great experience because, like it says in the caption of this video, if you're not giving them a great experience, they're not going to want to stay. And so I want to see, just give me some likes on here for how many of you are dealing with one and dones. People that are signing up with you and then they're canceling after a month because for whatever reason they can't afford it, or they just they didn't find it worth it, or they fell off the face of the earth like a week and a half into your challenge group or whatever. If you're dealing with that, I want to see the likes come in. I'm starting to see them come in. That's what I was dealing with for the longest time, guys. I was dealing with it where I was just realizing that I was bored. And the caption of this video says this: if it bores you, it's boring them. So that's the first thing that I want you to think about whenever you're creating a challenge group. I literally was going through the motions of doing whatever everybody else was doing. I would just go through the process where I would sign somebody up, send them a welcome email, tell them how great the challenge group was going to be, plug them in, show up every once in a while, and then comment on some stuff. And bam, they would start. That first week would be awesome, and then they would fall off the face of the earth. I wouldn't hear from them. I wouldn't know what's going on from them, and I would try to reach out, and then I realized, that's not their fault, guys. That's my fault. I'm not giving them the experience that I promised them. So complete side note, everybody, you need to understand this, that whenever you sign somebody up in this business, and I want you guys, if you could take one thing away from this call, I need you guys to understand this. When you sign somebody up, you make a commitment to that person. I want you to think about how you got them to say yes, what got to that point of them saying yes. Because here's the reality of it, y'all. When you tell them that it's going to be an amazing experience, that everybody's interacting, that you have all these different resources for them, that it's going to be a blast, and you're going to hold them accountable, and you're going to be motivational, and you're going to give them everything they need, and then the group sucks, you kind of broke that promise, right? And that's the endless cycle that I was going through every single day. And what I realized is that my groups weren't interesting me. I was literally, and again, I want to see more likes if this is you, I would go around and I would kind of just make the groups based on what time of the year it was. I would say, okay, Christmas, maybe I'll do like a Santa Claus type thing. I'd say March would be like whatever happens in March, St. Patrick's Day. I would do a St. Patrick's Day one. I would do, in February, I'd do a Love Yourself again because it's Valentine's Day. Summer would be like, get into your bathing suit. Fall would be fit for falls, and fall into autumn, things like that. I would do all these different things, and it was literally what everyone else was doing. So for me, I wasn't separating myself from the entire network. Guys, there's 163 people that I can see on this call right now. There's 86,000 people in this page. There's over 450,000 people in our network, coaches. and I was just blending in. I wasn't standing out. And all I was realizing is if somebody was scrolling past my stuff on social media, they might, and I'm not gonna say might, they've probably seen something very similar from another coach on their feed the same day or at least that week. So I knew at this point that 1, I was bored, 2, I was getting 0 interaction in my challenge groups, 3, I was doing what everybody else was doing, and it just wasn't Kelsey, okay? And I am somebody that is, as you guys can probably tell by my personality as well as my banana shirt, I do my own thing. I have a spunky personality. I'm a very like type A-ish kind of girl, but I still go with the flow. And I really just feel like I'm not the kind of girl that wants to, I like to stand out. I believe I was born to stand out, and that's why I believe in this business opportunity so much, because it allows me to do that. So I needed to figure out how I could bring in customers like me. Customers that were going to have so much fun in our challenge groups, customers that were going to end up leaving this group and saying, I want to do this again. Like, this group was so awesome that I want to do it again, and I'm going to work with this girl, and I want to join her team, because if this is what my challenge group is like, then shit, man, like, I want to be a part of her team. And that's what I knew I needed to create. So it was February of this year when I did one of these groups called Love Yourself Again. It was Valentine's Day themed, tons of hearts and all the stuff that blah, everybody else does. That I had this realization that I needed to sit down and I needed to revamp. And that's what I did. I took out a piece of paper, and I encourage you guys to do this. I'm going to basically give you guys exactly what I did, and I encourage you to do the same. I do want to preface this by saying you can't just take what I did. Okay, because you're gonna notice very soon that it definitely goes by the person. But this step, all of you, I recommend that you should do. So this is exactly what I did in February. I took out a piece of paper and I created an avatar of myself. And what that means is I figured out, what do I like? What attracts me? What do I watch on television? What do I read? What makes me laugh? What are some things that I like to do with my husband on the weekends? What are things that that I'm all about? And I got down to this giant list, and I had to figure out, like, okay, I have this beautiful list of things that I like to do, that I'm all about, that I find are fun. And then I asked myself, I said, how can I incorporate this into my overall mission? We have Beachbody's mission of living a healthy and fulfilling life and helping others do the same thing. But my mission is to provide a place for women to dream bigger, a place for them to love themselves again, a place for them to have fun. And I realized that a lot of people are scared of fitness. A lot of people are nervous about an opportunity to, get in shape, because in reality, like, working out and getting into a routine, if you're never in one, is hard. So I wanted to provide them a safe place, a place for them to have a lot of fun. So I said, okay, how can I make this not just about fitness, but about them? And how can I make sure that this is fun to the point where I'm enjoying creating it, I'm having fun, I want to check in every single day. And I came up with different themes. So I have done things like friends challenge groups, like, I've done friends challenge groups. I have done Harry Potter style challenge groups. I have done Sex and the City style challenge groups. I've done a Survivor challenge group. I have done, when Shift Shop came out, I did Shift or Get Off the Pot. I did, and now one that's coming up for me in 2 weeks is called Fantasy Fitball. And no one out there has done anything like that. So when it popped up on news feeds, people were intrigued. And it didn't say just friends. It didn't say Survivor. I always made it a spin for it to be my own. So I had the Friends logo, and it was like fitness, with like the little dots between. I did Survivor, looked exactly like the Survivor logo, but it said survival of the fittest, of the fitness, excuse me. I did Harry Potter, so it was called Hogwarts. I do lots of things like that, and the themes are extremely fun. And honestly, the interest in it has gone up significantly. The moment that I make these posts, people are asking me, they're like, what is this thing that you're doing? And I'm noticing that as I go through them, and as I'm having these groups, and I'm having these conversations with people behind the scenes about the group and explaining it to them, they're just like me. We can sit there and we can talk about Friends for about 15 minutes. We can talk about Harry Potter, different things like that. And that's how I came up with it. So again, you don't want to just come on here, listen to me, and then take what I did. You want to sit down and you want to figure out what is important to you. What's fun for you? What do you watch? What do you read? What do you like? What is it that is out there that's like making you, unique to yourself? And those groups right there are going to bring in your tribe. Now, here's the thing. Once you get them enrolled, that's when the process starts. So again, you made a commitment to them. You promised them that you are going to give them the experience of a lifetime. And before, when I was running these challenge groups that everybody else was running, back to school and February, love yourself stuff, I just wasn't that into it. I showed up for them because that was my job, but I just wasn't as excited as I should have been. But when I did these groups that I was really into, that I was over the moon excited about, I noticed that they were coming in out of the woodworks, and I had so much to talk to them about, and I knew that I needed to provide them this an amazing experience. So for every challenge group, I run a prep week, and it's themed. So every graphic that I put in my challenge group, and this took me a little bit of time, but now they're recyclable, so I can use them over and over again. I create themed graphics for all of them. So for friends, for instance, if you guys are Friends lovers, the graphics would be like Rachel's or Monica's Motivational Monday, or Chandler's Test It Tuesday, or whatever. And I would have all these different things, and they'd have their little pictures on it, and they would be in there every single day. We do things like Friends trivia in there. I'll get to that in a second. But the prep week is where it starts. So I take this week, and the moment that they enroll, I make sure that I'm making sure that they understand that I'm there for them 100%. So they get that welcome email from me within 24 hours, and they get then from there, I get to help get them ready. So there'll be an entire week before the challenge group where there's different tips every single day that'll pop up. So there'll be information in the group on how to have like day one is mindset, for instance. So how to have the correct mindset in order to get through the challenge group. And then day two would be like, here's how to food prep. So I give them all the resources on how to prep and plan. The next day would be grocery shopping, how to make the perfect shake. What else do I give them? I give them how to utilize Beachbody on demand, how to stream your workouts. And then every single day during that prep week too, there's a second post that goes up, which is how to get the most out of your challenge groups. I'm going to share with you guys exactly what I do in the challenge groups in a second. But I give them tips every single day on how to get the most out of a challenge group, because we operate on a point system. And I'll get to that in a second too. And then that same week before we're getting ready, I do something called a prep rally, where I get them really excited and they get on, and I help them get into teams and all that good stuff, which I'm going to explain again in a second. And then they have my Fit Family Facebook page for resources, where I upload all that same prep stuff to our Fit Family page, and they can go in there. The most important thing that I think you need to know about your challengers before the group starts is their end goals. What do they want to accomplish? And I ask every single person that I enroll, based on, whatever group that is, there's a form that they fill out where I find this stuff out about them. I say, what is the end goal? And it might not be lose weight. It might not be a select number of inches. It might be to just fit into an old pant size. It might be to, keep up with their kids. It might be to look in the mirror and actually like themselves. And I want to know what that end goal is. And basically what I do is I tell them to write out their goals, and then I ask them to send it to 5 of their closest friends and family before the challenge starts, as well as myself. And they write them out, and they do that. And the reason being is because now they have somebody other than me, their coach, to hold them accountable. And that is extremely important. So the girls have been sending them out to their closest friends and family. Their friends and family know what they're a part of. They're cheering them on. And now they have the support of their 5 closest friends. So if they decide to take on the business opportunity at the end of this group, they already have 5 people that have already been rooting them on. So it's extremely important that you know that. And it's also going to help you keep in touch with them behind the scenes. And every time that they fall off, or they don't show up, or they don't log a workout for a couple days, you're going to say, hey there, you know what? Like, this is what you said your end game was. And you told these people that you were going to do it. So what's going on? How can I help? So how the groups are ran, how I usually run these groups to make sure that they're having high engagement and they're fun. My groups have been, and I'm not trying to brag here, but my groups are like over the moon incredible. I mean, the engagement since February, since I made this transition to being who I was, loving on them, being there for them, have been unbelievable when it comes to engagement, guys. What we do is I ask myself how I can make this a bit more than just fitness. Okay, I don't want it to just be log your workout every day, log your shake every day, then move about your day. I want them to make friends. I want them to love each other. I want them to hold each other accountable. I want them to participate. I want to see them posting on their own. So what I needed to do was provide an atmosphere that allowed that to happen. And I'm lucky enough to have so many incredible coaches on my team now that are doing the same thing, and we partner up to make the work a little bit easier. But honestly, every single one of my coaches, and I'll say this, like right hand, is that my right hand? Right hand, I will tell you right now, they all started in a challenge group, and they all said yes to coaching because they had a hell of an experience, because I gave them everything that they needed to succeed in the group. And I can honestly say, just a complete side note, that if somebody does fall off, I know that I did everything I could. I know that. And that's something that I always worried about before, is did I not do enough? And I never always blamed myself if somebody fell off. But now I know if somebody falls off, it just maybe wasn't their time. But the people that go all in, man, they go all in. So the way that our groups are ran, we operate on something like a point system. And my husband is so awesome. He helps me with this. If you have a spouse that will help you with this, this is fantastic. But we do point system, and they rally together to get points. And then the more points that they get, they'll get prizes. So they'll get points for, they get like a point for logging their Shakeology. They get a point for logging their workouts. They get a point for participating in the daily posts, which our daily posts in there would be things like, again, more than fitness. Guys, okay, I'm gonna tell you something, a little secret. Every coach in the network is doing things like Motivational Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Woman Crush Wednesday, blah, 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 blah. So you are gonna do something different. And what our team does, and what I teach my coaches to do, and what my challenge groups are about, is we want them to talk about themselves every single day. So if you're gonna, when we put up Motivational Mondays, we ask them to post a quote and then tag somebody else in the group that they think might need it that day, or post a quote that means something to you and tell us why. We do something called Team Challenge Tuesday. So instead of doing like, here's a tip for, or Tip Tuesday or something like that, we do Team Challenge Tuesdays, where I put up bingo boards and they have to get bingo. When something on the bingo boards can be things like check in with coach and drink your Shakeology and pay it forward today. For Women Crush Wednesdays, we talk to them about something that they love about themselves. We make them actually sit down and like figure out like what they love about themselves, or what is a self-limiting belief that you have, and how are you going to torch that today? How are you going to get rid of that self-limiting belief? So if you're sitting there and you're telling yourself like, oh, I'm just, you know, some people in my groups are saying that I just always tell myself that I'm not good enough, but I'm going to torch that today and say that I am good enough because A, B, and C. We make them talk about themselves. We make them shout out their best friends, post pictures of their best friends in there. Thankful Thursday, we talk about ask them why they're thankful for their Shakeology, why they're thankful for the group, why they're thankful for their teams, different things like that. They interact, and you can use those as testimonials. Guys, Fridays are usually a Fit Friday challenge, so we'll ask them to go into BOD, find a short 10-minute workout that they can do, and then give us a review on it. Testimonials. Shakeology Saturdays, giving them tips on Shakeology, different things like that. And then having them actually go out and find things, talk about how Shakeology is impacting their life. Testimonials. And then Sundays are always show off Sundays. That way that they can share their transformation with you, share how they're doing that week, their highs, their lows, and then you can help them revamp and get ready to the new week. So everything is themed in our groups, and they get points for doing that stuff and participating in that stuff every single day. But again, the thing is like, another thing that we do that is really beneficial for our groups is we create teams. So when the challengers are all in, we have everybody into the group, we divide them into 4 or 5 or 6 different teams. And with that, I recommend that they download the app WhatsApp or GroupMe, and they all add each other on this app. And what I ask them to do is to reach out to each other, connect, and then that way they can participate together on their Team Challenge Tuesdays. And because there'll be different things where like they'll have to work together for things or come up with a Shakeology recipe together, or they'll do stuff like there's different challenges that they do every Tuesday, but they do it as a team. So they work together, and then they always are counting on each other to like kind of pull them back in, you know? So if somebody falls off, they'll tag each other. They'll be like, where are you, girl? Like, what's going on? So these teams have been so awesome for our challenge groups. And I know if my coaches are on here, they will back us up on that. So if any of you guys are on here, just go ahead and post below. The teams have been amazing because they're working together, they're making friends, and it's so fun for me personally to see, like, whenever I go on Facebook with somebody that didn't have any mutual friends with me, all of a sudden now has 6, 7, 8 mutual friends with me because they're adding each other on Facebook, and you know they're loving on each other, they're having fun, and now they have friends all over the country, which is super cool. So the impact that we can have as coaches to help them make friends is something truly special. Plus, like I said, it does that daily accountability. The prizes, so everything those points are totaling up to are for prizes. So we do things like Nikes, for the big grand prize, we're usually Nikes, workout tanks, you know, things like that. So that's kind of how we're doing that. But here's the thing. I do want to just kind of sum this up with how this gets me retention and how this gets me, you know, coaches. And then I'll wrap this up. But as you guys can see, when you run a group like this, it's not very hard to get people to say yes to the business opportunity. Most people are terrified to present the business, but we do something in our groups called pay it forward points. So they'll get an extra 10 to 15 bonus points if they decide to join our team and pay it forward to other people. Every time they refer somebody to the group, they get pay it forward points. Different things like that. So I kind of already introduced the opportunity of coaching to them from day one. They know that they can get points, and they already know from day one that they have an opportunity to be a part of this business. And like I said, when the groups are amazing, I always send them, every single one of them, a message after 1 week. And everybody always asks me, they're like, well, 1 week, like how do they know if they're ready to coach or not? If you guys think back on your challenge groups, which week is the most engaging? Which is the week that people are really showing up? It's always week 1. Always week 1. And at the end of week 1, I reach out to them and I say, hey, you know, you're kicking butt in this group, and I would absolutely love for you to just sit in on my coach sneak peek on Tuesday just so you can kind of see what it's like. If you're having fun in here, you're gonna love what our team's all about. Are you cool with me adding you? And I gotta give a shout out to Haley Christian for that, where she just you kind of just tell them that you're gonna add them instead of asking them, and they're always cool with it. But the girls that enjoy the challenge groups, the girls that really give their all to their challenge groups are the ones that are going to be really, really successful in this business because they're committed to their journey, they're seeing results, they're having fun, and that's amazing. So, and what's really cool, and this is a complete side note, I know I'm kind of all over the place, so I apologize for this. I hope this is helpful, but every week we total up those points for them. We show the leaderboard, who's in front for the Nikes. We show how much the group is down collectively in weight and inches. So it's really cool for them to see, like, oh, my group is down 121 inches and, you know, 85 pounds. It's so freaking cool, like, to do that kind of stuff. But like I said, you have an awesome challenge group, and then it's really easy for you to introduce the business, and oftentimes they're going to say yes. And if they don't say yes, here's the thing that's really cool is when they don't say yes, y'all, they still ask me what the next group is. I'm telling you right now, I have had the best Shakeology retention this year in the past, since February, since I've started this thing, than I have had in my 3.5 years of coaching. I don't have many one and dones anymore. I hit between Success Club 20 and 30 every single month. I know I could do better. But I like to work really closely with my girls, and with that being said, I'm putting so much emphasis into these groups where a lot of my attention is there. And like I said, thank God for my husband to help me total the points every week and, you know, help me in the back end of things. But honestly and very truly, guys, my retention has gone way up. People aren't leaving. And at the end of every single group, I'm telling you, I put up a post 3 days before the group ends, and I tell them their next steps. I say step number 1 is continue your journey and go into my next group, and I tell them what the next group is. Number 2 is join our team, pay it forward to a couple people, and make your money back on your Shakeology. Basically, that's it. Like, I give them their options, and every person will respond and say option 1 or 2. So I always have people joining my team, or I always have people doing my challenge group for the next round. And I always provide that a place for my newer coaches. So my new coaches, they'll sign up, and then they run their next one with me. They get their girls in there, and then their retention stays too. So that is what I do to create an atmosphere for my team and for my girls that are going to be incredible. And I've helped women over the past 6 months lose from 5 to about 75 pounds, or not 75 in the past 5 months, but up to 75 pounds total, just by running groups that are amazing. And I just have to say that, like, y'all, this is so much bigger than you realize. I'm probably going to get emotional. I'm going to sum this up, I promise. I don't have to talk forever. I'm an old reporter. I talk a lot. I told you. I cannot get over how so many people skip this step. So many people come into this business and they're looking for this quick breakthrough of, I need all this money and all this stuff, and they bring on people and they forget about them. And honestly, it makes me so sick to my stomach. And I tell my team this all the time. I say, when you commit to somebody, when you tell them you're going to, like, think about the coaches that quit, that leave behind a whole downline. It makes me nauseous. Because this is a step you cannot skip. If you want to be successful as a Team Beachbody coach, you have to give your people an experience that they will never forget. They need to feel loved by you. They need to feel inspired by you. And when you do these groups, that does not mean by any means that you cut off communication behind the scenes with them. I am talking to 5 to 10 of them behind the scenes every single day. Even people that have canceled back in January, February, they still get messages from me because I'm there for them and I love them, and they need to know that from me. If they feel like they are another Success Club point, they will never, ever trust you. They will never join your team, and those are the people that will be the one and dones. I look at that. I still look today at the people that quit after 1 month, and I say, did I do something wrong here? And I'll look back through the process, and I'll say, okay, Kelsey, did you do everything you could? Did you message her every other day? Did you find out her goals? Did you hold her accountable? And if I can say yes, then I can go to sleep well at night. But if I didn't do that, I will actually send an apology to that challenger and say, you know what? I could have been better. Give me another chance. So here's the thing, guys. I'm going to sum it up with this. Don't skip this step. Don't ever skip this step, because your challengers, this business, this whole thing, Beachbody, it's about helping people live a healthy and fulfilling life. And when you come into this with your own greed, and you come into this saying, like, I'm just looking to hit Success Club 45 this month, or I'm just looking to be 10-star diamond, or I just want to be elite, nothing's going to happen. You'll be at a standstill. Because the foundation of our business is this. It's helping other people. It's giving back. It's loving on people. It's showing them what this has done for your life and what's possible for them. So guys, my tip for you is don't just take everything I said in this call and say, hey, I'm going to go and do a friends challenge group because Kelsey did. No, it's not going to work for you. And I'll tell you that right now, because you have to be true to who you are. You can't go and take what another coach does. You have to take the idea and make it your own, okay? You have to do that. And I'm really super happy that I had the opportunity to share this information with you guys. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you can take what you have learned and kind of add it into what you're doing. But if you can honestly say at the end of the day that you've done everything that you possibly can to give these people the experience of a lifetime, then you're going to be a very successful coach in this business. So thank you guys so much for listening. And if you guys have any questions, I'll try to get through that chat below and answer them. But you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll talk to you later.